Hey, Marissa here. This is going to be my video about my first concert experience, which happens to be Vans Warped Tour 2015. So what you're going to need, you're probably going to need some hand sanitizers, sunscreen, wet wipes in case you're going to use the bathroom or touch anything gross. You're going to want to make sure that you stay clean. And sunglasses because it's going to be sunny depending on where you are and what the weather's going to be like. I recommend you bring sunglasses though, because for most of the tour dates, since they're in the summer, it's going to be pretty sunny. I recommend you bring a hat. I brought a hat with me, but I ended up buying this one as well. Also, before the show, before I went to my friend's house so that we could leave for Warped Tour, I made sure that the night before I put all my stuff in my bag that I used so that I wouldn't forget anything, and so that in the morning before I left, I wasn't rushing to get everything together, because the last thing you want to do is worry yourself in the morning and rush around. I also wanted to try and get a good night's sleep, so that's why I packed everything the night before. To skip the general admission line, you can bring in either 3 cans of food, $5 donation, or an old cell phone to skip the general admission line and get in faster. I brought in 3 cans of soup. We left a little bit late. We meant to be at the Shoreline Amphitheater at around 10, but we didn't end up leaving my friend's house until 10. And it was about an hour drive, and the show started at 11. So we got there at around 11, and there was a lot of traffic. Once you got into Mountain View, that freeway is so packed. We were using Google Maps, and luckily, because we were not all in sync with where we were going and the person that was giving us directions in the back seat, we ended up making a wrong turn. But it ended up for the good, because we ended up getting on a side road that was right next to the freeway, but there was no traffic on that side road, so we got so lucky. So we could have been in traffic for about another hour or two, but because we got lost on it, or because we got on that side road along the freeway, we just got there in about 20 minutes. It was so easy. But remember, if you're going to be driving there, that you know the side roads, because be prepared, because those freeways are going to get packed. When we got to the actual venue, of course there was traffic, and there was no side roads for that because we were just trying to get into the area for where we can park, which was hard because there were so many people there, and there was already a long line for general admission, and it went all the way out to where people were still arriving, so that's how long the line is. So I recommend that if you're going to be there, to get there super early. We had to wait in a bit of traffic for about 15 minutes to find some parking. It seemed a lot longer at the time because we didn't know how long we were going to wait, but now that I'm looking back and thinking how much time we spent trying to get to a parking spot, it was just about 15 minutes. But it was also super hot, so if you don't have an air conditioner, then just bring a mechanical fan that you can keep in your car that just uses batteries or something, or because it gets hot fast. So when we found a parking spot and we were walking to the venue, we were trying to find the line for the donations and stuff, but when we got there was already a long line, and there's a line waiting. I guess that was general admission, so they had a security guy saying, "Oh, you guys need to wait in the general admission line." We're like, "No, we have the $5 donation. We're just trying to find the line." She's like, "Okay." So we let us through, but the line was here, but the entryway was right here. So we're like, well, I mean, we're already this close, so we just went into the crowd of people that were waiting at the entry line. So we kind of just got in through there. They check your bag, and I had a bunch of Sharpies so that I could get autographs if I saw anyone. And there were Sharpies like these. I didn't have, not like that. I didn't have any Sharpie the round bullet point. Yeah, this is fine point, ultra fine point. I didn't have any regular Sharpies, thick Sharpies. So I brought those in. I brought 4, a bunch of different colors. And the lady's like, "Oh, you can't bring these in there." And she just threw them away. And I was like, "What? But they're for autographs." She's like, "No, you can't bring that kind of Sharpie. You can't bring Sharpies in there." I'm like, "What? Fine then." And then she's like, "Oh, you can't bring these in there either," and which were the 3 cans of soup that I had. I'm like, "Well, we were trying to find the line for that." She's like, "Oh, it's down there," which is had a long line already. I was already almost inside anyway, so I asked her, I'm like, "Can I just leave them here so someone else can go bring that over there?" Because my friends are already inside, which they were. I was one of the last ones to go in. And she said, "Yeah, okay." I was really happy that she said yes and didn't make me go all the way back there, because I was already a little bit mad at her for throwing away my Sharpies. After that, we were inside, and I didn't have a regular ticket. My friend paid for mine with her credit card. I paid her back, of course. So we already printed out my ticket. There was a lot of people, and you could get a map of the entire area along with the listing of the bands playing at what stage and at certain times for $2. There were a big group of people there just crowding this dude who was selling them. So we had two of our friends go in there and try and buy some for us while we waited at the side. Once they got the map and listings of who was playing, we wrote down on our phones the bands that we wanted to see. So we wrote down the bands, what stage we were playing at what time. It's really important if you don't have a pen to write it down somewhere or just to type it on your phone so that you know where you need to be at what stage and at what time. We had an hour to spare in the beginning, so we were just walking around. And we split up, there were four of us, we split up into two groups. The two people went, and then me and my other friend went to go do our thing. So we went looking around because one of our other friends that we were going to go with, she couldn't end up going at the last minute. So she gave us money so that we could buy her stuff. So in our free hour that we had at first, when we first got there, we went to the tent that they had, and we bought her a Neck Deep vinyl, which was pretty cool. I saw Neck Deep perform for the first time there too. I think they were one of the first bands that I saw perform, and they were really cool. I've heard of them before, but I've never listened to them. And to see them there, the energy that they bring was really cool, and they're really good. So I'm definitely gonna start listening to Neck Deep now. Also, when we were walking around for that first hour, I went to the Never Shout Never tent, got a shirt, which you can see in my other video, which is a haul that I got from Warped Tour, and I got to meet. And then we went to another tent, and I got a shirt from Icon for Hire. I also got to meet Ariel. More about that in my other video. After that, we had a few bands that were playing soon, so we went to their stage to see them. And I also have videos of that on my Instagram if you want to check that out. The link to that will be in the description below. If you're going to buy food at Warped Tour, you better have a lot of money. I didn't buy water. I didn't bring one sealed bottle of water, which I did bring, so I ended up drinking that. The lemonade there, which is about this big of a cup, that way around, was about $3 or $4. But if you keep the container for it, which I did, you can get it refilled for free. So I recommend it. Even if you buy a drink there, you keep the container for it so that you can refill it for free. The lemonade was pretty good. But when it got to around 4 or 5 and we went to go buy dinner or whatever, she got nachos, and the nachos were I think $6, and they were just a regular size thing of nachos, and it was $6 or $8, which is pretty expensive for nachos. I got a burger, and the burger was $11, and I still can't believe that I bought that, but I was hungry at the time, so I bought it, and it was $11. And then later on, I got a pretzel too, and that pretzel was I think $4. So for my kind of sort of dinner there, which was at 4, I got $15 worth of food for just 2 items. It was insane, but just be prepared that when you go there and you're gonna buy food or drinks, that you're gonna want to have a lot of money for that because they're not coming cheap. For most of the time, my friend and I weren't trying to get to the front because as long as we saw the band perform and heard them, we were fine. So we were chilling out in the back. So we saw a lot of people crowd surfing and stuff like that. We saw mosh pits. It wasn't until we were in the crowd for Pierce the Veil, because before Pierce the Veil we were at Never Shout Never, which was at the Shark stage. No, they were at the Unicorn stage. And then the Unicorn and the Shark stage are right next to each other. So Never Shout Never was performing at the Unicorn stage, and then after they were done, Pierce the Veil was performing at the Shark stage. So there are already big crowds there. We were kind of close to the stage for Never Shout Never, so waiting there, and then during their last song we decided to move to the Pierce the Veil crowd so that we could try and get a good viewpoint to see them. And since we didn't get to meet them, I really wanted to be close to the stage so that it could make up for it. That was a mistake, because we were in the middle of the crowd on the side, and it was fun at first because getting the energy from the people. But once they start, there wasn't a problem with their playing. Once they started playing though, everyone crowded forward, and I get claustrophobic, so I didn't think of that at the time. I just wanted to see them. So everyone was like pushing forward, and they were just like really hot and like sweaty people, and I didn't like it. And then there's a few girls from the back started crowd surfing, so like they came up behind you when you're just listening, you didn't expect it. I had my hair through this part here, when you have your hat on like this, and when they came to crowd surf, they just hit you from the back of the head with their whole body, and they just like dragged my hat down too, and all my hair, and I was like, oh, ow, it hurt so bad. That really kind of ruined that experience for us, so we're like, screw this, we're leaving. So we made our way out of the crowd, and we were just like on the side, or like, there weren't a lot of people, so we were like taking a breather, like, God, that was so hot, and it was so bad, it was really claustrophobic. But it ended up being worth it, because when we were in the middle of the crowd, there was like tall people in front of us, so we couldn't really see the stage. Even if you were on your tippy toes, it was still hard to see. So when we ended up getting out of the crowd and near the side, and at the sides, we could just perfectly see the stage. So we were there. I got a few more videos of that on my Instagram as well. And once we got out of that big crowd, it was a lot nicer and better, because once we got hit by the few girls trying to crowd surf, that ruined the fun for us. I wasn't about that life. I'm not trying to do that. So we stayed on the sidelines for the rest of the band. And then the only other time that the crowd bothered us was when we were at Beartooth, which was the last band that we saw, because my friend really loved that band, and that was her main reason why she was there, to see that band. We're in the middle, and there are a lot of people there too. At first there weren't a lot of people, but when it got close to the time that they were going to perform, there was a lot of people there. When we were in the crowd, we were fine, because we could see the stage perfectly, and there weren't a lot of tall people in the front, so we could see. The only problem is I have asthma, so there was like 4 people on the side of us right next to us starting to smoke, and I put my shirt over my mouth, but I kept coughing. So she's like, do we need to move, huh? And I'm like, yeah, I'm so sorry. I felt bad, because that would have been like a perfect spot for us to watch the show, but I just couldn't breathe, so we had to leave. So that's when we were by the sound technician stuff. You gotta be careful though, because if you're just there to listen to the music and chill out, you gotta keep your eye on other people, because you can tell sometimes if some of the people are gonna want to start a mosh pit, and we could see that from where we were. There's a few guys over there that were just like getting ready already, and we were like, we should get away from them, because we were already like pushed around and stuff from previous mosh pits, and we just didn't want to have to deal with that. We just wanted to listen to the music, so we got more to the side of the crowd, but we were still in the middle, because there was a lot of people there. When the band started playing, we were all hyper and stuff like that, and getting like into the music. I like Beartooth now too. I've heard about them, but I didn't listen to the music before, just like Deep, but now I like them, so I'm going to start listening to them more. There was a lot of mosh pits. There was one in front of us and one to the side, and eventually they just got closer to the back, so we were like kind of squished, and there's like a metal fence here as well that was protecting the sound stuff, and we were right up against that, so that we couldn't really hide from the mosh pit, but we only got stepped on a few times. My main concern was that my friend was safe, and the big vinyl that we got from my other friend that couldn't be there was safe. So I held the vinyl, so I wanted my friend to like put her hands up in the air and clap and stuff when I was holding the vinyl, and my drink too, so I couldn't clap. I was just like, woo! When he asked us to shout stuff. So my main concern was, as long as no one touched the vinyl or my friend, I was fine. So after Beartooth, pretty much everyone else was leaving, so there's always that long line of cars that are just exiting, and all you see for the longest time are the red lights from the back, and you just think, wow, we're going to be here for a while just waiting in traffic again. We were in the wrong lane to get onto the freeway, so I told my friend, oh, make a turn here to get into the next lane is what I meant, turn into the next lane. And we were in an intersection. I was reading the map. So what she thought I meant was turn into the next street, not the next lane, which I guess was kind of my fault, because I should have made that more clear. But there was no one going into the next street. So she just turned into the next street. We're like, whoa, no, where are you going? We meant the next lane. She's like, oh, I can turn around. But again, we ended up going onto like a side road right next to the freeway. So our luck that day was impeccable. We didn't have to wait in traffic anymore. We were on the side a side road next to the freeway, so you could see all the traffic, and we were just zooming past them. And again, this is why you have to do your research of where the venue is and any side roads that you think you can use in order to avoid traffic, because there are going to be a lot of traffic. So it was around 11 when we were leaving, or no, 10:30 when we were leaving the venue. And we got home pretty quick. We were saying like, oh, we'll probably be home around like 11:30. And we were, but we stopped off at Wendy's first so that we can get some food, because my other friends, the other two that went in their own group, didn't eat anything, which I was thinking that's probably for the best, so they were starving, so we ended up going to Wendy's after, and then my friend dropped me off back home. That was my night. I was super excited. I looked over all my pictures and videos, and it was just a really fun night and memories that I won't forget. So even though there was a few bad things, well, not bad things that happened, but a few like low points there for me, which was the mosh pits, the getting hit by a crowd surfer, and the expensive food, that all was pushed to the back of my mind when I look back to memories of rocking out to some of my favorite bands there, buying some mementos, which is in another video, and just having the first experience of being free and being able to go out with my friends and rock out to music, which was the best part of my summer so far. So I'm really happy that I was able to go to Warped Tour, because I've been waiting to go to Warped Tour for about 3 years now, and 2015 was the year I was actually allowed to go. So I was really happy, and I hope, and I plan to go to Warped Tour for a lot more years in the future, and I'm really looking forward to that. And if you have not been to Warped Tour, and if you have been and loved it, then I recommend just keep going, because it's a lot of fun. There's some people that I didn't know, but I met while waiting in line, and they were really cool. So not all the people there are like bad or mean or anything, because there are some really cool people there as well. So that was my experience at Warped Tour 2015, and I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. You can write in the comments below, or subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you for watching. I hope you all have a wonderful day, night, evening, whatever time of day it is for you. And until next time, goodbye. So, I should really practice how I'm going to start this before I actually turn on the camera. I've had those Sharpies for years, too. They were still good. This is still recording, right? Yeah, okay.